Here are two videos. On the left is a high-quality GB short film made by the OG, Vulcanized, and on the right is a short, not-so-high-quality, funny and goofy GB video, which relates more to the old time of the internet. On the surface, you might think the video on the left get more views, right? Occasionally, yes. But in most cases, videos like the one on the right gets more attention than the type of videos like on the left. And today I'm going to show you why you should think smart and not hard when it comes to things like this. So let's get in. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to say, why am I even making this in the first place? Because in one of my most recent videos, I got a comment from a user called KidsX. While many others liked that video, along with the fact how it got a crap ton of views, this guy just doesn't seem to like it. His comment reads something like, "Okay, jokes over time to go home because someone made it in gorebox." From this comment alone, I knew this guy is a GB fan and probably thinks that all GB animated videos, machinimas, should all be high-quality suspenseful ones, not the more creative ones. And it made me think that GB fans probably do not like any sorts of creative work revolving around the game. All they want is some crisp, high-quality GB videos. So today I'm here to address that by explaining how creative or different things being made in GB can easily beat high-quality ones in terms of how the internet likes it. So back to the beginning where it all started. Now look, another comparison would be to just compare the original game, Gmod, with gorebox in terms of the types of content. Gmod was released sometime around late 2005, where it was originally a mod for HL2 before being a standalone sandbox game. And because of all the tools the game offered for the players in the beginning, with how the dev behind the game was really passionate about it, along with the amount of freedom that this game offered, players were able to make some really big things within the game. Yes, mods are one thing, but at the time there was a trend where people would make some really goofy yet funny, short or long animations. And guess what? All of these creations were uniquely creative, entertaining, and different. And when these animations hit the YT pages, it became one of the biggest things during the early times of not only on YT, but on the entirety of the internet, which with the help of the creativity of the community of the game, they were able to pull all this off, and all thanks to them, Gmod became the staple of the early internet. Tons of people later knew more and more about the game and all the creative content made within the game, no matter how bad or how good it was. People liked it, and those videos got tons of views. Now, if the GB community looks at this, they might go, "Dude, this is trash. They are supposed to make content related to HL2 on the game, not yiz random nonsense." And all of these lazy people are grabbing people's attention through these really simple and lazy content. But in reality, they just don't have any idea as to what they are even talking about. And when looking at a high-quality game like Gmod, old Gmod players, when looking at this, would be very, very, very disappointed. Because of the fact how a fan game inspired by them have zero creativity. Yes, zero. And it's not the game's fault at all. It has a decent amount of tools to make really creative content. Now, if we are talking about mods or maps, sure, but the content just lacks. It doesn't offer the same type of entertainment that Gmod tries to offer. And 99% of these GB videos are just gunning down people or a very dramatic film. But we don't see any goofy or hilarious types of animations at all. So I just compared two of these games for you guys. And in short words, GB is lacking something very big when it comes to delivering content. And that is variety or creativity. Yes, this is a major issue because most of the GB community thinks they could relate more with internet by just simply one form of content. Yet majority would never have too much success on actually having a big factory following them, obviously because they aren't Activision to make movies. Yeah, when GB players look at Gmod videos, they would not really like it. But they would definitely be flabbergasted by the fact how majority of these have so many views and how they make the game Gmod super popular. But GB doesn't even with all the high quality crap they make. And that's the thing with the lack of creativity. If you just make the same type of content like everybody else, or to just relate with the game's atmosphere, you might not even break 10 views. In rare occasions, these videos might blow up, but not all the time. So thinking differently and making different type of GB content by utilizing much of its tools, you might be the one that will make the game more popular. AMD, there are a bunch of really creative GB content that have a crap ton of views like many of the Gmod videos. Comparing this to the same old thing, it is a drastic difference because the creative ones have more views as well as people who loves the creativity. And these creative content are also very short, yet very well executed. That is why they get so many views. Not to mention, GB is an indie sandbox game. It's not the right place for making something like this. The creativity does not include leaked videos, but I would personally include this video made by Puro. It's really, really good, and you should definitely watch it. So yeah, that's really it for this video. And remember, please, if you are a GB YouTuber, don't immediately start off with big projects, start slow with small projects, and then work your way up. Think creative, work with the YouTube algorithm, and definitely push the game to its absolute limits when it's needed. And most importantly, work and always think smarter, not harder. Unlike gorebox though, my channel is more creative and diverse, and you definitely would know me better by clicking that sub button along with enabling the bell icon. So that way you wouldn't miss out on my latest videos. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time. Peace.